Hello, folks.brew.com here. Let's talk about the new set and its impact on constructed. So consider this a constructed review of Aether Revolt. I'm gonna be talking both about modern and standard. And I'm pretty sure right now in everybody's mind is the new twin style combo of Saheeli plus Felder Garden. How it works is that you have Saheeli in play, let's say turn 3, and then turn 4, regardless of how much loyalty she has, you play Guardian, you flicker Saheeli, then you -2 her, and then you basically just make a copy of Guardian and repeat the process, and all those copies have haste, and if they have no response or no blockers, then that's it. Well, basically, doesn't matter if they have blockers, you just make infinite number of those guys. But I think any effect or any card in the format, I mean standard, that will give at instant speed opposing creatures -1 to attack will actually be a pretty solid sideboard card, it seems like. And because you're Jessica, you're pretty much gonna play the blue-red manlands, or let's just say that you're very likely to play that. And it couples off with this Crackdown construct, which pumps up when you activate an ability on an artifact creature. Ephemeral is a creature when you animate it, and then you just animate it for infinite amount of time, for 0 mana, and you have an infinite construct. The problem I have with the construct is that it's not just that it costs 4 mana, it's because on its own it's 2/2, and you're kind of forced to get value out of it without fumerals, so you need to make it playable without those. Well, there are a few ways you can do that. One of them is running stuff, let's say like Drowner Hope and maybe something like Displacer, and where you want to have activated abilities, and in what deck you also want to have value out of your Guardians if you don't have Saheeli, well, then probably you're gonna be playing Panharmonicon in your deck. That means to get value out of Panharmonicon, you're gonna play Photonaseers, Cloudblazers, and Displacers, and the mana base is gonna be hell of a tricky, but Aether Hub is probably gonna help you quite a bit in that regard. So you probably want to play a play set of those in the deck, yeah, Copter was a big thing, really limited the metagame in standard format, and I don't think you could have banned Copter without banning Reflector Mage, even though I really don't like that as a blue-white flash player, but I just humbly try to accept it. And without Copter, Reflector Mage will just dominate creature decks, because with Panharmonicon decks already picking up, Reflector Mage will be just too much, and plus you have this Guardian that will reset the Reflector Mage as well, so they thought like, okay, we want this Guardian, it's a cool card, well it combos off, but what we can do to mitigate the impact of such decks? Well, let's just get rid of Reflector Mage. It's also gonna decrease the strength of blue-white flash as an archetype and make it less oppressive. As a result, you still get this crazy deck, but it's not so flashy, it's not so oppressive, even though it still can do broken things and generate an incredible amount of advantage. Anyways, moving on. Tezzerets and all the artifact decks. So improvise is gonna be a big thing in those decks. Still not super huge, but still. I like both Tezzerets, and with them I want to move towards a more control-ish deck with the new kind of language card. But then again, you can still go off with this kind of affinity deck with Ornithopter and the Tezzeret Touch, and still play Inspectors and Colossi, so, and be this mid-rangey value deck. Two, Geofoundry is still here just for value, because who knows like what direction you may go. Because of Fabricate and Improvise, you may want to have a white board just to spam the board, and in there Chief might be a good boost, so that all your servos tokens actually are more significant than this normally would be. Direct Intimations is basically for Grixis control deck with Tezzeret, So that's just another route, but it's just one of the ways to go. Then, speaking of mid-range decks or control-ish decks, I thought about, well, I had that abs and mid-range decks, and there is Black-Green Delirium deck, and okay, what they gave us, kind of in place of Copter, is Heart of Kirin, which is gonna be probably working best in a Planeswalker heavy deck, but some people argue, some friends might think that in red, white, or Mardu vehicles you can actually still run just the Heart of Kirin and be fine with the huge number on the crew, which is free. Then you just run the not the smugglers, the scroungers. I believe that's the artifact creature that jumps back for 2 mana. Uh, yeah, but I really like the abs and mid-range deck, but flyers and flashy stuff and couplers were just so annoying. But now I think is the right time, and it abuses the Heart of Kirin as well. And now I think Advocate doesn't look so gross. I think it might be playable again. So yeah, because you can run Grimflare, but in this type of build you're less about Delirium and just more about value and flexible cards. Even though Grimflare, well, there is nothing bad about the 4/4 for 2 with trample. So there is that. You have a bunch of good planeswalkers. Nissa, Vital Force can bring back you um, all the cool stuff back. I think in that deck, Current and Field is okay. The thing about Current and Field, why I think it's okay, because a lot of the artifact removal in the new set is just for artifacts, so it's not really naturalized effects. So I think enchantment's gonna become a little bit more safe, let's say, because there's so many efficient artifact removal spells, and with the new set pushing so much improvise and all the artifact synergies, I think it's gonna be relevant. But who knows? Fragmenta is not gonna go um, anywhere because it's just 1 mana, but it might not be good enough because it's not instant, even though it's cheap, and but it doesn't touch the big artifacts, which could be an issue because of maybe Hulks or Colossi, things like that. We'll see. Really like Green Warden of Morass in those decks too. Also, one of the good reasons to actually play maybe one main, one side Carrington Fields, in my opinion. Lilian is not amazing in that deck, but cycling Green Wardens and Gearhawks is not a bad thing, I think, or Ishkanas for that matter. I just like Super Fan stacks, and I think if there is one that I really like, and I think that is mostly playable, it's probably in Ebs and Colors, but it doesn't have to be that way. You probably start with Black-White, but green gives you so much of like grinding capabilities and good early drops and stuff like that. But even without Copter, you probably still need to run Grasp of Darkness, and you can't run what was it? You can't run too many white sources because of that. But you need all the green for Oath, but it helps you to cast Gideons. Anyways, in that deck you're likely to play Aether Hubs 4 off because, and this Super Friends deck Traverse from Ulvenvold is not actually that great. Moving on, so let's think about all the 4 mana crazy cards. What the actual...